California judge temporarily blocks Border Patrol from its stop and arrest tactics.
Plus, how San Diego Catholics will honor the late Pope Francis today.
I didn't think I was going to be able to walk again.
Today marks 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War. Local veterans share their experiences.
We leased these panels in good faith, and now it seems that that faith's been a bit betrayed.
A state bill could have a major impact on solar customers. Why some are upset as the bill is set to go before a committee today. It's 6 a.m. Wednesday, April 30th, and you're up with CBS 8.
Thanks for making us part of your mornings, 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour. We want to start with your forecast, get you ready today. Meteorologist Evan Irani joining us. That little bit of mist is out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And it's very gray as opposed to yesterday. We had the sun kind of beaming down as soon as the day began. Not going to be the case today. Okay. We're going to hold on to that marine layer for a bit longer. That doesn't necessarily mean that we won't see sunshine. We should. It'll just take a little bit longer. It'll be closer to 10, 11 a.m. in some cases, especially close to the coastline that we see that sun. But you could already notice that some of that marine layer is starting to weaken a bit. So between these kind of two still images of about 4, 5, and now 6 a.m., we're starting to see those steady improvements. Should take us to partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies maybe by the afternoon. Upper 60s by the coast, mid 70s inland. Coming up, we're going to talk about that next chance for widespread rain in the forecast this weekend. It's all coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
This morning, one person is in the hospital after their car went off a cliff and into the water in La Jolla. This happened near Coast Boulevard. First responders got the call just after 8 p.m. The person rescued needed CPR before being rushed to the hospital. Officials were unsure if anyone else was in the car, but lifeguards did not find anyone else in the water.
This suggests in here this morning the U.S. economy went into reverse, slowing sharply in the first quarter of this year. That's according to new gross domestic product data released this morning. The report says the U.S. economy shrank 0.3% from January through March, the first drop in 3 years. It was slowed by a surge in imports as companies in the U.S. tried to bring in foreign goods before President Donald Trump imposed massive tariffs.
This is also just into the newsroom here. Ukraine expected to sign a mineral resources agreement with the U.S. here today. It would grant the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. President Trump has said such an agreement would be a way for the U.S. to be compensated for military aid. As far as a peace deal to end the war, this morning Russia said that it is, quote, far too complex to be done quickly.
And now this morning we are learning a federal judge has ordered Border Patrol to stop making random immigration stops in parts of California.
The ruling is in response to complaints about Operation Return to Sender, where agents detain people without clear legal reasons. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live near the border now this morning with everything we know here. Regina?
Good morning, guys. Well, the judge's order now certifies a class action lawsuit against the government for these raids. It also says Border Patrol cannot stop people solely because of how they look and instead must follow the law. So this order documents, or at least requires agents to document all stops and arrests and begin training for agents about the law. But as you mentioned, the ruling is in response to complaints where agents conducted a sweep in Central Valley, stopping and detaining dozens of people without warrants. Evidence by the American Civil Liberties Union argues that Border Patrol agents spent nearly a week detaining people who appeared to be farm workers or laborers, regardless of their actual immigration status. The detainees were then loaded onto buses and sent to the border. They also claim workers were held without any way to contact family or attorneys and were forced to sign papers that said they had waived their right to see an immigration judge and then agreed to leave the country. But attorneys for Border Patrol did not dispute the arrests made during these raids. They did, however, ask the court to throw out the case, arguing it lacked jurisdiction because federal law says immigration matters can generally only be appealed once an immigration judge has issued a final order. Border Patrol also says it has already issued new guidance and training to its agents detailing exactly when people may be stopped or arrested without warrants. But back out here, the ACLU says it still has some concern that the same type of behavior or at least arrest could happen because there's no strong guidance in this, or at least in the behavior that Border Patrol is arresting people without warrants. For now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Regina, thank you for the details there. This morning, all international students at UC San Diego have had their visa status reinstated. UCSD says 35 affected students are now back in active status. This comes after the Trump administration dropped a legal challenge filed by dozens of students. They sued after thousands of international visas were canceled without warning or explanation. ICE claimed the move was aimed at students who had alleged criminal records. San Diego State University says 3 of 4 impacted students there also had their records restored.
Today, Catholics in San Diego will gather to honor Pope Francis.
All parishes in the San Diego Diocese have been asked to hold a memorial mass today. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live at Mission Basilica San Diego de Alcalá, where a mass will soon get underway. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and we're just about less than an hour away here from that mass beginning. All of the churches here in the diocese ordered to try to make sure that they could have these masses today and at times that work best for the community and the parish that they serve. Now, the focus of the mass, of course, is to go ahead and unite in prayer for the repose of the soul of the Pope. Of course, Pope Francis dying here in April. And we have seen just the mourning and the process that occurs whenever a pope dies play out for the world stage here. And of course, the amount of Catholics and within not only this community, but across the nation here watching as all eyes are now on the Vatican. Now, as for, again, 7 a.m., 5:30 p.m., I do want to point to a statement here from the diocese administrator that was issued shortly after Pope Francis's death. This is from Bishop Michael Pham that said, quote, Pope Francis cared deeply for all of us, especially those on the margins. He challenged us to put faith into action and to care for one another, the environment, and our global community. He also noted the Pope's particular concern for immigrants and his affection for border communities like ours. Now, as for who the next Pope will be, cardinals from around the world met yesterday in Rome for a general congregation ahead of the conclave, which officially begins next Wednesday. About 135 cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to vote, representing 71 nations, actually one of the most diverse conclaves in the church's history. And of course, from this, they will likely choose a successor. Of course, a lot of people wondering who it is that may be, but we're hearing that while the last couple of processes here, the last couple of conclaves took about 2 days, there's a chance that this could last longer. Eric and Netta?
A beautiful live shot there
Right,
here at
right.
6:07 on this Wednesday.
We're getting that daylight already,
Yeah.
so let's send it over to Evan and see. Our skies are looking kind of gray out
Yeah,
there.
very
Oh,
gray to
pretty.
start off the morning. That's okay.
Yeah.
We know that every day this week,
Right.
it's been before 11 a.m., in some cases 8, 9 a.m. that we
Yeah.
see the sun kind of peeking through. So yesterday was one of those days where we didn't have to wait long. It was really as early as sunrise that those clouds were breaking apart. Now we've got the clouds hanging on a little bit longer throughout the morning. Temperatures out by the coast, upper 60s. Inland Valley is going for the mid-70s this afternoon. The mountains are shooting for the low 70s. In the desert, it's 91 this afternoon. While we have sunshine in the forecast for today, and really sunshine is in the forecast for tomorrow and Friday as well, we've got some changes coming about by the weekend. Notice Sunday, 52% chance for rain in the forecast. This is something that we want you to be aware of, but we don't want you to be too concerned about it quite yet. And that's because we still have 4 days for these models to kind of slowly come into agreement as to what that's going to specifically look like. Right now, what these models point to is Sunday being the exclusive day for rain, although you'll notice that Saturday, that chance climbs a bit. Same goes for Monday. What we're expected to see is some scattered showers on Sunday, and along with those scattered showers, we'll likely see a pretty decent drop in temperatures and an increase in cloud cover and maybe even wind. That's what the majority of us are going to notice, is that drop in temperatures that takes us to 10 to 15 degrees cooler than normal, in some cases closer to 20 degrees cooler than normal toward the mountains. We'll also all notice that increase in cloud cover and the wind. But what we're expected to see on Sunday is that best opportunity for maybe a few showers to come about as well. Right now, accumulations don't look too grand. In the meantime, today is Wednesday. We've got a little bit of morning fog out there. Today through Saturday, very mild conditions, upper 60s, low 70s each afternoon. Let's check in on traffic. So far, we've been mainly checking in on the Coronado Bridge. That's been a spot where we've been slowing down. Take a look. We have no major crashes or collisions. That's great news to start off our Wednesday. But here's the Coronado Bridge. You're down to 17 miles per hour as you get through the bridge and into Coronado. So you're going to be slowing down quite a bit. Unsurprising, stop and go traffic as you get in. Let's check in on your border wait times. 105-minute wait right now at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. We're slowing down quite a bit on the borders. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, it's going to be about a 2-hour wait. So you'll be able to get across in San Ysidro about 15 minutes faster, but either way, you're still easily waiting at least an hour 40, hour 45 or so, regardless of which port you're taking.